Welcome to Tibara's Den. My name is Whitney and welcome to another CAS video. We are on the second week of the Gemini portion of our Zodiac series. If you haven't seen the previous videos, check those out. The playlist is in the description below as well as at the end of this video. But first up in our Primal Zodiac, which just takes your Western sign, so in this case Gemini, and combines it with the different Chinese zodiacs. So first up we have our Deer, which combines Gemini and the Chinese zodiac year of the dog. And my sister is actually a deer. And there's some pieces that I don't think fit at all, and other places that I really do think fit. And the biggest one being the gossip, which kind of hung me up as far as like the Gemini portion of the series too. So last week we created a sim based on Gemini and then also on horse. And the Gemini, you know, it says that they like to gossip and kind of be in the know. And that kind of hung me up as well. Like, my sister and my niece is also a Gemini. And they're not gossips. So that was kind of hanging me up. But there are definitely other aspects that is described that I think do fit my sister very well. And so I'm just going to go ahead and read the little blurb. If you are interested in learning more, the website where I got this information is linked in the description below. It's the Primal Zodiac website. I also included all the websites for this whole series in the description, so you can definitely check those out if you want to know where I got my information. But again, the deer is combining Gemini with the Chinese zodiac year of the dog. And it says, those born under the sign of the deer are kind, loyal, and intensely curious. I do agree that about my sister. The deer is the biggest gossip of the Primal Zodiac, which again, not my sister at all. They love to talk about everyone and everything that is going on around them. They have no ill will in spreading rumors. They simply love to share the latest news with everyone possible. This sometimes gets them into trouble with more private types. But if this happens, deer will stop at nothing to make things right. They highly value friendship and loyalty and will do what it takes to right any wrongs that they can. Deers are very intelligent and quick-witted. They are extremely curious and love to know how things work. They have the ability to master new skills quickly, but they also tend to move on to new projects once they have tired of the previous one. Patience is not their strongest virtue, and they have a tendency to worry excessively. That definitely jumps out as my sister. She's definitely a worrywart. But they have a tendency to worry excessively about things that they have no control or influence over. A fast-moving mind in combination with an inclination for anxiety can be a dangerous cocktail, and when taken to the extreme can turn overly stressed deers into conspiracy theorists and paranoid neurotics. On a normal day, this is a very amiable sign that is a tad on the pessimistic side. Deers must be careful to keep an open mind as they explore life, as they have a tendency to get very focused on certain facts and figures that can unintentionally skew the way they see the world. Even dogmatic deers, though, have good intentions at heart and truly want to make a positive contribution to the lives of others. It's no surprise that members of the sign love jobs that let them share information with others. Career in journalism and medium are natural choices, particularly with increasingly fast dissemination of online reporting. Similarly, deers enjoy jobs as information clerk, museum guides, and receptionists at busy companies. Deers that find themselves drawn to religious or spiritual callings are well fit for the task. This is a sign that can preach the good word better than most. At the same time, they are caring and gentle enough, again, that kind of stands out as my sister, to dedicate their lives to others. Less religious deers that still want to contribute to others can do just as good of a job as community organizers, social workers, and political orators. Some famous deers are Prince William, Tara Lipinski, Jonathan Tucker, Paula Ono, Naomi Campbell, Prince, Annette Bening, Drew Carey, Donald Trump, Bill Moyers, Judy Garland, Christopher Lee, and Robert Cummings. I made her, this is Delilah, and the name means a guide, and I made her an education under the professor aspect. I see her working with kids, which is what my sister does. She has her degree in early childhood education, and she actually works in daycare centers. She's worked as a nanny, things like that. Her aspiration is Renaissance sim, since she likes to know things. She's good. She is paranoid, she's a worrier, and she's also an insider, she likes to be in the know. So that is my deer sim, and I really, really like how she turned out. I kind of went for like soft vibes for her, and I was kind of going for like kindergarten teacher vibes. Goodness, I can't say the words right, but that's kind of what I was thinking of, and I was kind of pulling from my sister a little bit in creating her. And so, my sister, it says they're not very patient, but they do have like patience in some aspects. Like, I see her very caring and nurturing, and she likes to share her knowledge with children. And so that's why I went for like elementary school teacher type vibes, and very like soft and kind of like flowy look to her. I gave her a lot of purple. I just kind of like that for the overall theme for the sim. And so you'll see at the end when I go through her other outfits that there is a lot of purple in all of her looks. Like, I wasn't so much focused on like the lucky colors, but lucky colors for the dog are green, red, and purple. So that wasn't my main focus, but I am, trying to get more inspiration, and so I was kind of drawing on those colors while keeping my thoughts in mind. And then, since the sign is Gemini, I thought it would be fun for my Primal Zodiacs to do them in sets of twins. And so for my next Primal Zodiac sign, I am creating her twin. And the next sign is actually a hummingbird. And you can see I struggled a lot because it kept giving me funny skins, because I have a lot of custom content. But this is my hummingbird, and this combines the sign of Gemini with the Chinese zodiac year of the dragon, which this is actually what my niece is. So it was kind of funny that I got my sister and my niece right in a row. And so I'm going to go ahead and read this. Again, the website where I got this information is in the description below. But it says, in nature, hummingbirds move so fast that they seem to defy the laws of physics. This is an apt metaphor for the primal zodiac sign of the hummingbird, a sign whose members are constantly moving and darting from place to place. Those born under the sign are full of energy. They want to do everything and do it on a grand scale. When they come up with a goal, they immediately follow it, unconcerned with whether or not it is reasonable or even possible. To a hummingbird, anything is possible, at least as long as they are the ones doing it. It's hard to get members of the sign to change their mind. They are constantly thinking, constantly doing, and have an enormous amount of self-confidence. Sometimes this can get them into trouble, since they often leap before they look. But they are also a lucky sign whose unbridled belief in themselves causes most situations to work out in their favor. Hummingbirds need to be in control. They don't like taking orders, and usually decide to do things their own way no matter what the orders are. They also love to talk and are often gossiping about others. Again, don't really see that for my niece, but that's a different subject matter. It also kind of depends on how you were raised and such. So this isn't done to be rude. It's just that the hummingbird loves to be the ones to loves to be the one to get to share new information. Finding out through the grapevine is not their style. It's uncommon for hummingbirds to define themselves by only one career. Usually the sign has several different businesses or professions going on at once. Unless they are in a very high level at the company, they will probably always be doing something else on the side. The sign loves the thought of being an entrepreneur, but they tend to be more interested in starting projects than finishing them. Once the excitement of the business slows down, they will likely be more interested in moving on to something new, which rarely leads to long-term success. Instead, hummingbirds should look for either small jobs that can combine into one career, or set their sights on a big job, such as president of a company, or maybe even a country. The big goal will always keep them motivated, and several small goals will always keep them interested. Either way, the sign loves to talk, loves to be in charge, and loves to win. And so it talks a little bit more, but some famous hummingbirds are Michael Cera, Blake Shelton, Colin Farrell, Kelly Monaco, Courtney Cox, Winona Judd, Lenny Kravitz, John Goodman, Isabella Rossellini, Liam Neeson, Mr. T, Nancy Sinatra, Tom Jones, Dr. Ruth Westheimer, Rosemary Clooney, Fats Waller, and Patrick Henry. And for my hummingbird here, her name is Hamasi, which means exciting, zealous, and thrilling. I decided to give her the career of a judge, so under the law. the career of law under the judge branch. Her aspiration is city native because they get the bonus trait of in the know. She is self-assured, outgoing, and active. So that is my hummingbird there, and I really, really like how she turned out. And I like the idea of, her being a judge. She gets kind of the excitement of hearing different people's stories and, kind of figuring out what's going on and such. So she kind of gets the like gossipy aspect, even though she's not necessarily like gossiping. Obviously, she kind of has to keep like the cases to herself and such. But she gets to kind of have a constant flow of different people and situations and things like that, which I really, really liked for this sim. And so that's why I ended up making her a judge. I thought that was fun. Obviously the sims were kind of limited. And I definitely see a lot of aspects of the hummingbird in my niece. Like, she moved to Montana away from all of us. Like, there's nobody up in Montana except her. She had some friends up there and such. And she definitely always kind of does well in work and jump to like management positions and things like that. So I definitely see certain traits there. But next up we have our coyote, which combines Gemini with the Chinese zodiac year of the ox. And it says, those born under the sign of the coyote are innovative thinkers, brilliant strategists, and stubbornly dogmatic in their beliefs. Members of the sign like to quietly observe new people and surroundings, but are surprisingly opinionated and outspoken once they are comfortable. This is a highly capable sign that has the ability to accomplish just about anything. Their only real obstacle in life is themselves. The coyote is an inherently contradictory sign. Members of the sign often feel an inner conflict throughout their lives that they have difficulty putting into words. They require a very delicate balance of stability and freedom, new experiences and familiar situations, adventure and structure. Finding this balance, or at least working towards it, is the life purpose of most coyotes. It is not unusual for members of the sign to experience depression, anxiety, or addiction at some point in their lives. Being born a coyote is not a curse by any means, but it does present interesting life challenges for those who are. Like their animal namesake, coyotes are forever wandering from place to place, trying to find somewhere they can feel stable. This does not necessarily mean moving from town to town, but job to job, idea to idea, relationship to relationship. They usually end up walking in the same circles and repeating the same patterns over time. Patience is necessary to achieve this important balance, as is learning to accept life as it comes. Coyotes are so good at planning on how to control situations that they have trouble letting go and letting life happen in its natural course. Members of the sign are generals by nature, strategists that are willing to do what it takes to get the job done. However, they are independent thinkers and have no desires to follow the rules that they don't believe in, making actual military careers an unlikely fit. And then it talks about, different careers. They really don't have a one-size-fits-all career for the sign. Some famous coyotes are Chris Allen, Juliette Lewis, Neil Patrick Harris, Heidi Klum, Boy George, Michael J. Fox, Melissa Etheridge, Lionel Richie, Hank Williams Jr., Waylon Jennings, Morgan Freeman, Barbara Bush, Tony Curtis, Ralph Edwards, Vincent Lombardi, and William Butler Yeats. And so for my coyote, I gave him the name of CAS, which means a man who is observant and alert. His career, I actually gave him the secret agent career under the villain branch. Since they don't really like to follow rules, I figured, that kind of gave him structure, but the sense of adventure. And then he kind of turned it and went off on his own. His aspiration is actually jungle explorer. So I see him, being like out in the jungle, doing his thing. Traits are non-committal, adventurous, and erratic. So that is my coyote, and you can see I kind of gave him kind of a raggy like type look, like very relaxed, kind of scuffed up, a longer hair, not as sophisticated as some of my other Gemini sims. So lastly, under this group, we have our centipede, which combines Gemini with the Chinese zodiac year of the sheep. And I had a good starting sim for this. And so you're going to see his whole array of outfits. The rest, I just showed you their everyday outfit, and then I'll go quickly through their other outfits at the end. But him, I did his outfit so quickly that I knew I wasn't going to have time to read anything. So you're going to see his whole array of outfits. But anyway, this combines the sign of Gemini with the Chinese zodiac year of the sheep. And it says, centipedes are sweet, caring, and always know the right things to say. They are always pointing others towards the positives in life, though they themselves are prone to anxiety and depression. While they don't care if they look tough or not, centipedes hate to look weak, afflicted, or any other way not living the perfect life. They try very hard to be there for others, but hate to ask for help when they need it. Members of the sign are not great with money, though they always seem to acquire it when they really need it. Centipedes like to own nice clothes, cars, and homes, and don't mind spending the money to do so. They are smart and often go far in education, but they can be a little scatterbrained at times. While centipedes are very caring and involved with friends and family, they can also become resentful if this caring becomes expected of them. They like to give of themselves as a gift to others, but don't feel comfortable having others rely on them. Centipedes do best when they have a lot of variety in their careers, and are not meant for cubicle or tightly structured management styles. Members of the sign thrive when they can share their interests with others. Along with their caring and supportive natures, they make great teachers of any subject as long as it interests them. They are excellent with children, so many become daycare and elementary school teachers. Others become professors of art, history, literature, or music. No matter where they choose to teach, they are beloved by their students because they teach from a true childlike excitement for their subject. Their terrific bedside manner and comforting nature make them great doctors, especially pediatricians. Children are drawn to centipedes like magnets, so any career having to do with children is a great fit for the sign. No matter what they choose to pursue, it is critical that the centipede is interested in the work they do. If not, they will end up depressed and lethargic, and will be missing a lot of the magic that makes them so special. Some famous centipedes are Sarah Ramos, Pete Wentz, Nicole Kidman, Anderson Cooper, Glenn Rice, Roseanne Cash, Barry Manilow, Carol Baker, John Wayne, Dorothea Lange, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and Harriet Beecher Stowe. And so for him, his name is Kampa, which means he is a soothing man. And I decided to give him a career as a doctor. I imagined him as a pediatrician. You know, I already had my elementary school teacher in my Deer sim, and so he's a pediatrician sim. And his aspiration is academic, so he pursues higher education, which is good. You know, doctors are always having to do continuing ed. Traits are good. He is materialistic, and he's a bit childish at times, too. So that is the Centipede sim, and I really like how he turned out. And I was trying to decide, because especially with the next two sims, which you will see on Friday, that go into this first house, there's a lot of different characters. And so I had like the twin aspect, which kind of makes sense that they're kind of living together. But it's like, what drew these sims together? Because they're some vastly different characters. Like, they're kind of opposites here. And I decided he's actually dating my hummingbird sim. So he's dating Hamasa, and then, you know, obviously their twins live there with them, and then the other two move in. You'll see why. I'll discuss that on Friday, why they kind of entered the picture as well, especially because those two are very different from these four. These four kind of have a common base. And I think with my coyote sim case, I think that they don't necessarily know what he does, because I see this group as being very disapproving of that. And so they kind of just, they know he works for the government. Like, that's all they know. It's top secret stuff, like classified. So he's not at liberty to really share his job, even though that may have been the case in the beginning. But now, you know, obviously he's a villain. He's not following the rules, but he's still kind of living by that code. Like, he does not share any information. And you'll see his room. I've already done the build, and that will be on Saturday. And I've already done the build and everything, so you'll see that on Saturday. And he has like a lot of little collectibles and such, but they just think it's, you know, as he's traveling, he's picking up these things, not necessarily that he's stealing them. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys here for you know, a run through of their outfits and then the screenshots. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you are any of these signs. Again, the deer is Gemini and the dog, hummingbird is Gemini and the dragon, coyotes are Gemini and the ox, and then the centipede is Gemini and the sheep. So let me know if you are any of these signs, what you think of these sims, and yeah, we will see you guys all on Friday. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.